Look at what is being said, not who is saying it. Thomas Jefferson was the third president of the United States and author of the Declaration of Independence. He was a leading figure in America's early development and held various public offices during almost 5 decades of public service. Besides president, he also served as a congressman, diplomatic minister, secretary of state, and vice president. A man of many unique accomplishments, Jefferson is also honored for being the father of the University of Virginia and the author of the Virginia Statute for establishing religious freedom. He dedicated his life to addressing the challenges of his time: political freedom, religious freedom, and educational opportunity. Thomas Jefferson was born on April 13, 1743, in Virginia. In 1760, he graduated from the College of William and Mary in Williamsburg, Virginia. Since there were no official law schools in America at the time, Jefferson studied law under the tutelage of a renowned Virginia attorney. During the American Revolution, Jefferson, who was also a gifted writer, was tasked with drafting the Declaration of Independence. He would later rise to become the third U.S. president in 1801. After his presidency, Jefferson continued to pursue his many interests and helped found the University of Virginia, which held its first classes in 1825. He died on July 4, 1826, at the age of 83. These inspiring Thomas Jefferson quotes by the author of the Declaration of Independence still apply to our lives today. Honesty is the first chapter in the book of wisdom. Do you want to know who you are? Don't ask. Act. Action will delineate and define you. The care of human life and happiness, and not their destruction, is the first and only object of good government. There is nothing more unequal than the equal treatment of unequal people. A wise and frugal government which shall restrain men from injuring one another shall leave them otherwise free to regulate their own pursuits of industry and improvement, and shall not take from the mouth of labor the bread it is earned. I like the dreams of the future better than the history of the past. Educate and inform the whole mass of the people. They are the only sure reliance for the preservation of our liberty. Never spend your money before you have earned it. The constitutions of most of our states assert that all power is inherent in the people, that it is their right and duty to be at all times armed. The glow of one warm thought is to me worth more than money. When angry, count to 10 before you speak. If very angry, count to 100. I never considered a difference of opinion in politics, in religion, in philosophy, as cause for withdrawing from a friend. For people who are free and who mean to remain so, a well-organized and armed militia is their best security. To compel a man to furnish funds for the propagation of ideas he disbelieves and abhors is sinful and tyrannical. I cannot live without books. I predict future happiness for Americans if they can prevent the government from wasting the labors of the people under the pretense of taking care of them. The most valuable of all talents is that of never using 2 words when one will do. The man who reads nothing at all is better educated than the man who reads nothing but newspapers. On matters of style, swim with the current. On matters of principle, stand like a rock. If a nation expects to be ignorant and free in a state of civilization, it expects what never was and never will be. The equal rights of man and the happiness of every individual are now acknowledged to be the only legitimate objects of government. Every day is lost in which we do not learn something useful. Man has no nobler or more valuable possession than time. To compel a man to furnish funds for the propagation of ideas he disbelieves and abhors is sinful and tyrannical. When injustice becomes law, resistance becomes duty. Do not bite at the bait of pleasure till you know there is no hook beneath it. Enlighten the people generally, and tyranny and oppressions of body and mind will vanish like spirits at the dawn of day. I do not take a single newspaper nor read one a month, and I feel myself infinitely the happier for it. Laws and institutions must go hand in hand with the general progress of the human mind. It is neither wealth nor splendor, but tranquility and occupation which give happiness. Never trouble another for what you can do for yourself. No instance exists of a person's writing 2 languages perfectly. That will always appear to be his native language, which was most familiar to him in his youth. The spirit of resistance to government is so valuable on certain occasions that I wish it always to be kept alive. The will of the people is the only legitimate foundation of any government, and to protect its free expression should be our first object. Walking is the best possible exercise. Habituate yourself to walk very far. We confide in our strength without boasting of it. We respect that of others without fearing it. Every difference of opinion is not a difference of principle. No government ought to be without censors, and where the press is free, no one ever will. How little do my countrymen know what precious blessings they are in possession of, and which no other people on earth enjoy. Those who expect to be both ignorant and free expect what never was and never will be. When governments fear the people, there is liberty. When the people fear the government, there is tyranny. I have sworn upon the altar of God eternal hostility against every form of tyranny over the mind of man. I prefer dangerous freedom over peaceful slavery. Equal and exact justice to all men of whatever state or persuasion. Ignorance is preferable to error, and he is less remote from the truth who believes nothing than he who believes what is wrong. The art of life is the art of avoiding pain. A little rebellion is good now and then. A coward is much more exposed to quarrels than a man of spirit. In matters of principle, stand like a rock. We hope these words will help you succeed and never forget to be kind to others.